Hey everybody, Andre here at SeeWhy Financial Learning with a general knowledge video. Now we're an exam prep company, but we know that a lot of our clients and even our YouTube viewers, unfortunately, are in the process right now of renewing their mortgages when interest rates are quite high. So this is week 3 of our mortgage renewal video series. Now, if you want to catch the first 2 videos, head on over to our YouTube channel. You're going to find all kinds of helpful content there. Now, up until now, we've talked about 2 very important things. Number 1, what to consider before you lock in your mortgage, let's say for a 5-year term. And it isn't just interest rate. So check that video out. I promise you it could save you a lot of heartache and a lot of money. And then I taught you how to use a simple mortgage calculator. Now, the calculator we've been using, you can actually find on the Government of Canada website. I'm also going to put a link to it in the description of this video. It's such an easy calculator to use. And what you can do is you can plug in some variables, calculate what your payment would be, and then you could change some variables. You know, perhaps you can negotiate a better rate. What impact would that have? Or perhaps you increase or decrease the amortization period. You know, how would that impact your payment or your interest over the life of the mortgage? Now, up till now, I've been assuming, we're going to go with a monthly mortgage payment just because that's what people are used to and it's easier to understand. Although you strongly want to consider going with an accelerated weekly or an accelerated bi-weekly payment. This can shorten your amortization and save you a lot of interest. So I first want to teach you that concept, and then we're going to apply it to the mortgage we've been talking about. So let's assume for now your mortgage payment is only $1,000 a month. Now, I know that's a ridiculously low monthly payment. It's not that I'm out of touch. Like I said, it's just a nice, easy number. Easier for me to teach and easier for you to understand. So if your monthly payment was $1,000, how much would you be paying per year? Well, you could do this math in your head, multiply it by 12, and you're going to get $12,000. Now, here's how we calculate an accelerated weekly payment. Not a weekly payment, that's a bit different. An accelerated weekly payment. We take the $1,000 monthly payment, we divide it by 4 because most months have 4 weeks, not all, and we get a weekly payment of $250 on an accelerated basis. Now, if we take $250 a week and multiply that by 52 weeks in a year, you'll notice you're actually paying $13,000 a year. So an amount that is equivalent to an extra monthly payment. Now, if you do this, obviously you're going to reduce the amortization period, which means you're going to pay the mortgage off quicker, which means you're going to save a lot of interest. Now, what does that mean? A lot of interest. Those are just words. Let's take a look and see at how much it can actually impact a more meaningful mortgage amount. And especially when interest rates are higher, these strategies become so much more important. So, I pulled up the calculator here that we used in other videos. And I'm going to enter a mortgage amount of $500,000. An interest rate of 5.75%. Let's assume I can negotiate that rate. An amortization period of 20 years. Well, that's the total repayment period. Perhaps I bought this property 5 years ago. I started with a 25-year amortization. 5 years have gone by. I'm renewing. So now I want to be at a 20-year amortization. We're going to pick a payment frequency of monthly to get our starting point and a 5-year term. Now, when I calculate that out, so I hit the calculate button. I don't do it. The calculator does it. It's so simple. The payment is $3,491 a month. Now, I want to draw your attention to the calculation summary and more specifically over the amortization period. Now, we are making some assumptions here. We're assuming that over the life of the mortgage, the interest rate stays the same. We know that's unlikely. Next time I renew, the interest rate is probably going to be a little bit different, but we have to make some assumptions. And under that amortization period calculation summary, take a look at the interest. Wow. Over the life of the mortgage, you are going to pay almost $338,000 in interest, a whopping amount. But that's what it is. Okay, now let's go back and make some changes. So instead of monthly, I'm going to go with accelerated weekly. Now, be careful not to pick weekly. That's a little bit different, and it doesn't result in an extra amount being paid each year. You want to go with accelerated weekly. So we change that, and I hit calculate. Now the payment is roughly $872, which is the monthly payment divided by 4. Now take a look at the calculation summary under the amortization period. The interest cost is only, again, roughly $285,000, and you're saving almost $53,000 by making this simple decision of going accelerated weekly instead of monthly. And this is why I say financial planning. I'm a certified financial planner. Financial planning doesn't necessarily need to be complicated. Sometimes it's these small decisions that may look small, but can have a gigantic impact on your finances. So be sure to check out, the different payment options. Play around with this calculator. I think you're going to be amazed. Now, a common objection I get to this tip is, but I don't want to deal with a weekly payment. I want to deal with every week making sure I've got the right amount of money in my bank account. That's why a lot of people go monthly. If that sounds like you, here's another way you can kind of achieve the same thing. If you go with monthly and you make an extra monthly payment every year, it's harder to do. It's harder to come up with the money. It's harder to have that willpower. But if you go that route, you can achieve similar results. So again, I hope everybody found this video helpful. I highly encourage you to play around with the calculator. You can really get a feel for how mortgages work. And as I always say to people, knowledge is power.